Welcome back, fellow Dream Warriors, to Riderpiece Theater! Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Zeztz, episode 42. So happy 4th of July, everybody. I am back from Anime Expo. Sorry I took so long into uploading this video because, again, I was in AX, and the overall experience of it was meh. I just didn't like it. I mean, it was a little bit, I believe it's a little bit better than last year, but overall, I mean, the most important thing is I didn't get sick, and I went inside the building so much quicker, and it wasn't as hot. And speaking of hot, if you hear my fan blowing out, that's because, you know, my room is like a sauna, and yeah, I'm sweating like a pig here. But yeah, overall the experience with AX was meh. And guys, I have to say this, ever since, you know, with Zero and the whole I believe in my dream thing that happened last week, I decided that every time I've seen a Baku costume, I always respond, or at least start with, I believe in my dream. And I had people turn around and just fist pump me, knowing that, yes, I have seen the show. And I just decided every single time I see a Baku costume, I will start out with, I believe in my dream. And it turns out it works. But yeah, sorry I took so long to upload this video, but now I'm back. And if you hear my fan blowing up, like I said, it'd be hot in here. So let us begin our tale from last week with Nox, because remember, Nox and Baku were stupidly fighting because over a misunderstanding, because Baku assumes that Nox was going after Zero, but it wasn't the case. Because Nox is going after the technology of code, which, in my personal opinion, Nox should have just waited until both him and Baku destroyed the Nightmare Lords. But he's just so obsessed with revenge. He's like, well, I'm gonna destroy code and figure out the rest of it later. And that's what he did, because starting with this first scene of the new episode, Nox enters the room that contains all the code knowledge and tech and decides to destroy it. And then Mulder has announced that Code Japan is officially destroyed. You see the buildings all destroyed. Everything from the technology is destroyed. Everything is destroyed. And we quickly go to the next scene with Scully, who discovers Rita's chalked body on the wall. Okay, this scene doesn't make any sense unless she slept and went into the dream space and discovered her chalked body. Because remember, when Rita died, her body got turned into Fanta, like strawberry Fanta. So her body is gone without a trace. So I'm guessing Scully slept and found her chalked body, and she is mourning her chalked body. Yeah, I know. We should see a body, but this is a kid show, so why not just turn it into a soda and her remains is like a black chalk on the wall, and yeah, she's a masterpiece by now. We go to the next scene with Nox, and he is in the secret garden, and he's like, okay, his mission is complete. And then the crazy lady / Phantom is applauding him for a job well done and wants him to join her for a toast. But Nox says, nah, I completed my mission. My revenge is complete. I want nothing to do with you, so bye, Felicia. And you would think that the crazy lady could just be like, hey, like, don't walk away from me, and maybe just attack him for the disrespect, you would think. But the crazy lady just like, bye, Nox. Like, she didn't really do anything. And at this point, the crazy lady, she's just high. She looks high to me. I know it's completely random, but I don't, because when I saw her, she's just, waving and she's all happy. And I'm like, are you high, crazy lady? All right, you're fused with the phantom. Okay, makes sense. But yeah, Nox is pretty much giving the crazy lady the goodbye Felicia treatment. His mission is over. He wants nothing to do with her anymore and just walks away. And so we go to the next scene with the Nightmare Lords. They were celebrating because Code is gone forever, but Catastrophe is in a no mood for celebration because he has yet to devour his vessel, aka Baku. So we go to the next scene after the opening credits, and Minami places a flower on Zero's desk, and Minami says that Zero was a complex man and whatnot, and Baku was like, well, I never had this father and son relationship with him. He always acted as my boss, my commander. He knows that he should be feeling sad, but he can't because, again, he says that he never had that father and son relationship. And now he tends to believe that he is responsible for his demise because, for one, he failed to understand Nox's true intentions were. If it weren't for that, then he could have helped Zero escape and he will probably be here alive. And then you have Minami stepping in saying that, no, don't you dare say that. It wasn't you that killed him. It was the nightmare that killed him. So you're not responsible for his demise. But Baku responds with, yeah, you're right, but I am responsible for the creation of Catastrophe. Before I move forward to the next scene, there's a couple of things I want to respond. Baku has every right to feel a certain way because he's right. We never seen this father and son relationship ever. Sure, there were glimpses of Baku being like a kid and getting on the motorcycle, and you see Zero all smiling and taking pictures of him, and you see him build the spy office and bringing in the motorcycle in and just setting it up for when the time comes, Baku can enter in and use the spy room and the motorcycle for his missions. If I was in his shoes, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad enough to feel sad because there's no connection except for being the spy and the commander. That's it. And another thing I want to add too is that Baku, Nox never gave you a straight answer. Everybody from the audience, including myself, noticed that he was staring at Zero as he had this intention of killing him. He never, he said that, I would destroy Code. What does that even mean? Be more specific. And he did look like he was about to kill Zero. Let's be honest here, guys. Write in the comments below, guys. Did Nox look like he was about to kill Zero? Because to me, from what I saw, he looked like he was about to get him. And if I was in Baku's shoes again, I would have responded the same way. So I don't understand why is he blaming himself for not reading the room when you have someone who's just like, well, I want to destroy Code. I want to get my revenge. Okay, So are you gonna go after Zero? Because he is the leader of the company. Well, at least the Tokyo side. So yeah, if anything, it's Nox's fault for not being too specific. Because if he would have said right there and then, look, I'm not interested in killing Zero. My intentions are I'm going to find the secret tech and destroy it. Now, Zero could have protested and be like, look, I understand that you hate me, you hate code, but destroying the tech right now, especially when the nightmares are running amok, I don't think it's a good idea. But of course, Nox will be like, I don't give a shit. I want to destroy the tech and complete my revenge. All Nox is thinking about is getting his revenge. And I think what he did, destroying the tech, was so stupid and premature because of the Nightmare Lords and the rest of the nightmares. Like, dude, destroy the tech after you destroy the 4 Nightmare Lords. And everything, and of course, destroying Zambia, and everything will be disconnected, and then destroy it. But Nox was like, no, I'm not interested. If anything, guys, I think the partially responsible is Nox. But that's just my opinion. We go to the next scene. It's just a continuation. So after Baku has this heart-to-heart talk with Minami about Zero and not having this father-son connection, him not feeling sad and in tears and everything, he goes out and enters his room, and lo and behold, Mulder and Scully were in hiding and eavesdropping. And just when Baku was about to get some tea, Scully just blurted out, hey, my best friend is dead. Did you know about this? And Baku just stood there and be like, oh shit, now she knows. So how am I going to tell her about this? And Scully was like, oh, so you knew about this, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me? And Mulder was like, well, maybe he didn't tell you just to protect you. And Scully's response is just throwing the medicine ball at Mulder. She says that she doesn't blame Baku at all. To further go into this conversation, Baku tells Mulder and Scully that the power to destroy nightmares is over. Because, again, Nox destroyed all the code tech and pretty much all the power needed to defeat the nightmare so prematurely. However, Mulder believes that no. There is still power that can defeat the nightmares. There's you, Baku, and of course, he's talking about Nox. To pursue the whole conversation with Nox, he asked Baku, was he involved in Code's destruction? And of course, Baku had to answer honestly and like, yeah, he was partially responsible for its destruction. But at least he didn't kill people. That's what Baku said. Yes, he was involved, but he didn't murder anybody. And which gives Mulder a slight sense of relief. And this leads to Scully asking Mulder, okay, so are you going to arrest him? And he didn't say no. He didn't say yes either. But he did say he has a score to settle with Nox. Which leads to the next scene with Nox. And I honestly don't understand Nox. I really don't. Why? Because in this scene, he just walks around the streets of Tokyo as if he lost his puppy dog and just like a zombie, like, you know, like a guy who lost his purpose. And you would think after so long of seeking revenge and finally gets it, he's not happy. He just wanders around and just being all emo, and he is acting like a lost puppy dog. like, this is a lesson about revenge. Like, yes, you want revenge for the people who did you harm, but once you get that revenge, you don't feel satisfaction at all. You just feel empty. It's just, okay, I got it, so I should be feeling better, but I don't. I mean, it's the same thing with Xena and Callisto. Callisto wanted revenge against Xena for killing her family, and once she obtained that revenge, she felt empty. Like, as if, she should be happy, and yet she feels empty. The same thing is happening right now with Nox. So Nox is just walking around the streets of Tokyo, and then he's at the top of a bridge. He has the Nox driver in hand, and it looked like he's about to throw it in the river because his mission has been fulfilled. There's no purpose anymore. So, and also, the Nox driver is also the last piece of code, aside from, the Zeztz driver, but, Baku is using his own. But in any case, it's the last of the code tech. So he was about to throw it until Mulder steps in and stops him. And which leads to the next scene where Mulder takes Nox to a restaurant. They both sit and they're having drinks. And as Nox is looking at all these people just living out their lives as if nothing has happened since, the destruction of code. I mean, once again, Nox is feeling all like, oh, everything that I did didn't really affect anything at all, because look at all these people. They're just living out their lives normally as nothing happened. So he responds with, all the violence meant nothing. Code is gone, and yet the world is still spinning. Mulder, as he was trying to drink his water, I guess, because they were supposed to be drinking alcohol, but I mean, it's a kid's show, I guess, but I look at it, it's like, is this water or whiskey? But they're taking shots, and of course Mulder is no good in taking his alcohol. Mulder reminds Nox that he used to be a part of the Black Case Files, and he went undercover, and he's pretty much throwing his accolades to his face. Like, he used to be a part of the Black Case Files, and he committed crimes and used the power of the nightmares to commit said crimes in order to take down code. And Nox was like, dude, okay, I've done a lot of horrible things. Are you here to arrest me or not? Why are we even here? And this is where Mulder proposes a deal of sorts. Mulder proposes Nox to return to the Black Case Files and use the power that he has to take down the nightmares. And of course, Nox is not interested. He takes the driver off him and be like, no, I'm not interested. So Nox walks away with the driver with him, and as he leaves the restaurant, he walks away. He turns to his right side and went walking. And then you see Baku just slowly but surely trying to follow him. And as we see a couple of scenes of Nox walking, and you see Baku just following him, and it came to a point where Nox says, okay, enough with the stalking. Why are you here? If you have something to say it. Like, what's going on? And Baku responds with, we're the only two left to fight against this nightmare threat. What should we do? And when he said that, I was like, Baku, you know what to do. Do what you usually do. Go to Dreamland, defeat the nightmare, save the day, and that's it. But right now he feels a little bit lost now because Code is gone, Zero is gone, and he believes that both him and Nox are the only two left with the power to defeat the Nightmares. Because Emo Alexis Lee has turned into papers, Rita got turned into a soda, and Agent 5, he exploded. There's no agent available. Of course, there is Zeke, which he got turned into a comic relief, and Crazy Lady, well, she's high. So, yeah, those are the only two left to save the world. But I just find it strange how Baku would feel so lost when he went on his missions on his own without, Code, without Zero. He just did it on his own. So I don't understand why he felt like, okay, I don't know what to do. So I'm starting to become confused, because why all of a sudden you feel so lost when Code is gone and Zero is gone? Why do you feel so lost? I mean, if anything, you should continue what you've been doing up to this point, which is giving yourself missions, defeat the Nightmares, save the day, go home. So I just don't understand why Baku is feeling kind of lost right now. So we go to a quick scene. You see Catastrophe pulling like a string that leads to like a mine's door. He opens it, he enters through it, and we pick through where he is going, which is Nox and Baku's location. We go to the next scene with Nem, and she's sitting there at the bench, and then all of a sudden she is approached by the high crazy lady, her mama, and Nem is asking her own mom, why did she do what she did, which is fusing with a nightmare? And she responds with, I only did what I wanted to do, which is to create a world where Nem can be happy and safe. Because if you remember, from the moment Nem was born, Code was after her, because to them it's like an experiment, because a human and a nightmare together, like, it was a forced thing, right? But the whole thing of a human being created by a nightmare and have nightmarish powers, it's, like, unheard of. We should capture her, do some experiments, and once that's done, we can just kill her. That was Code's intention. That's why, the crazy lady was forced to give her up for adoption to be safe, and the rest is history. We go back to Nox and Baku, and once again, Baku is feeling lost and confused, like, I don't know what to do. We're the only two left with these rider powers, and I feel so lost. And Nox has the right attitude. Regardless of how I feel about Nox as a character, at least he's like pointing the obvious by, what do you think Zero wanted? And Nox responded the best way. Like, he says, how should I know? How should I know what Zero wanted? Because remember, Baku, Zero left Nox to die. So remember that. So how does Nox know what Zero wants? Like, seriously. And Nox continues, and he says something that I just pointed you guys out early on, which is, you've been giving yourself missions all this time, believing that there were things only you can do. So see through it, continue what you're doing, and clean up this mess yourself. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. My mission, my revenge is complete. It's over. And he ends the conversation with, you are the only one that's left. I'm out. And he walks away. I mean, Nox pointed this out. That, dude, You've been following your own beat of your own drum ever since you split with Zero and Code. So what makes this so different? Code is gone? Because Zero is gone? Why are you feeling lost? And Nox says, no, I'm not interested in this fight anymore. You clean up this mess. See ya. Nox, I don't know. Nox is starting to become my least favorite character. Ever since the whole, misunderstanding and this stupid fight last week, I'm just like, dude, like, no, you're such a douchebag. You should be in handcuffs. But at the end of the day, in the final episode, I just think that Nox will walk away scot-free, and Mulder will vouch for Nox, saying that, look, he committed so many crimes, I get it, but he's on the path of redemption. He was a part of destroying the nightmares, and just give him like a slap on the wrist, or maybe reduce his sentence. Either way, I feel like Nox will get little or zero jail time. That's what's gonna happen. So as Nox tries to leave, leaving Baku behind, a strong force knocks both Nox and Baku. So we quickly go to the next scene, and Baku has been transported to Dreamland, and he is pinned down by Catastrophe. And we have this conversation between Catastrophe and Baku. And he tells Baku that you shouldn't be mad at me, because you were the ones who created me. Since the moment you were born, you instinctively aware of the fate your father would force upon you. That's where I come in. I'm so grateful that you desire power so awesome that it could make any dream come true. You are the reason that I'm big and strong. And Baku says, so the things that we wanted are what made you then. And this is where Catastrophe offers, hey, if you're so mad about this situation, if you're so mad about your destiny, why not let us fuse together? With our combined strength, we could do almost everything. Destroy everything and just have fun. And this is where Catastrophe jumps through into Baku. He enters in his spy room, his subconsciousness, and starts to destroy the spy office. And then we quickly go to the next scene where Baku returns to the real world, and all of a sudden you hear an explosion at Baku's apartment. And this is where you see Mulder attending to Nox, and Baku tells Mulder, take care of Nox. I need to go home because Minami is there. And God forbid that Minami was caught in the explosion and she could be dead. And he runs towards his apartment. You see all these people just leaving the apartment building with, coughing. There's smoke coming out. There's cuts and bruises. And poor Baku is very frantic. He's scared. Like, oh my God, my sister is dead. But luckily, Minami survives. You see her just trying to help people. And this is where Baku just immediately hugs his little sister, thinking that he has lost Minami too. And this is where Baku says, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to be the one to finish it. And this is where he uses his extreme driver, and before he goes into the dream space, he says dreams surpass nightmares in English, which wows me to me. I'm like, wow, my big brother not speak English. And again, this is the real world. And so Baku enters the dream world, And then we go to the next scene where you see Baku transforming into Extreme, and we have a fight between Extreme and Catastrophe in the toy warehouse. And this is where, I was worried about how broken Extreme is, because Extreme has the power to rewrite dreams, but even with that power, Catastrophe still kicked Baku's ass, and Baku was like doing another full rise, the full rise ability, like another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And you see every single time he pulls a full rise, you hear Baku, well, you don't hear Baku, but you look at Baku that he is getting weaker, because every single time he uses it, it adds a strain to his physical body. But he didn't give up, to the point where finally, after that final round of the full rise, this is where Baku, using the great banish, ends up destroying Catastrophe once and for all. And then we get to the final scene of the show, where Oblivion destroys Catastrophe's throne, indicating the remaining Nightmare Lords that Catastrophe is dead. And you see the serious look upon their faces that, oh shit, now this is going to get serious, because one of our own has been destroyed. And that's how the episode ends. Yeah, it's another good episode. Baku had the right feelings in the situation where he should be sad, but he can't, because he didn't have the father and son relationship. And he went to Nox and talked to him like, hey, we're the only two left. What should we do? And Nox says, like, I don't know. Like, you should know. Like, you're the last one left. I'm not interested anymore. Like, he walks away, and because he's not interested. And that's when I told you guys that it's just so confusing as to why Baku is feeling kind of lost. Like, keep doing what you're doing. That's what Nox said. So, yeah. And after almost this close of, Minami getting killed off, he's like determined, like, look, you know what? Regardless if Nox is with me or not, I have to finish this. And that's where he got the strength and determination to fight Catastrophe and just, destroy him completely. And in terms of Nox, I mean, I just don't get Nox at all, because you would think that he'd be happy that Code is destroyed, but he's just walking around and just being like a lost puppy dog and be like, well, I have no purpose anymore. Might as well be sent to jail for all the crimes I did. And yeah, but of course Mulder is like, no, not so fast. And Mulder, like a good friend that he is like trying to convince him, look, I could send you to jail, which is, what he is supposed to be doing. But he offers him a deal, like, look, fight with us, and you will get him like a lesser sentence or a slap of the wrist. He didn't actually said that to him, but he is offering him a way out. But he's like, no, I'm not interested. It's almost like he has given up on life right after he got his revenge. Like, dude, that's why I can't stand you sometimes, Nox. I really don't. And then poor Nem. Like, Nem is so confused as to why her own mom did what she did. And when she got her answer, it's just like, I don't know, maybe she feels partly responsible for her own mom, fusing together with the nightmare. I mean, don't feel bad, Nem. She did that on her own, okay? Sure, her way of, protecting you was extreme, but that was her choice, not yours. I mean, you shouldn't feel bad because your own mom made the conscious decision of fusing with a nightmare just to protect you. at the end of the day, you know, she wanted Code gone. And now what's next? You know, that's just an honest question. And of course, you know, mean to me, and poor Scully for discovering the truth now, and Mulder. Yep. So, have you seen episode 42? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? Even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things here and there. You never know. And, what do you think about Nox? Is he annoying as hell now? Because I'm close to being sick and tired of his ass. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And once again, happy 4th of July. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!